To this story now. Last week, the Minister in the Presidency for Women, Youth and Persons with Disabilities, Sindisiwe Chikunga, led the launch of an End GBV and Femicide dashboard. Now, the platform aims to provide a near real-time update of the country's data from various sources, such as police, health and education institutions, to better track the country's fight against GBV. Now, this initiative is one of the many that have been launched over the years. Let's discuss this now and a little bit more with Minister Chikunga, who joins us now on the line. Minister, thank you so much for the time. Just tell us a little bit more, if you will, just about this initiative itself.
Good morning to you and to your viewers. And thank you for having us this morning. Indeed, on Wednesday, we joined Roots to Rise, a movement that aims to end gender-based violence, to launch the End Gender-Based Violence Dashboard. And this is one of the initiatives that aim to ensure that we implement our NSP, the National Strategic Plan on Gender-Based Violence, all the 6 pillars. But also, like you have indicated, it enables us to be able to know and to trace as to whether we are making impact. It gives us information and data on what is happening on the ground. And it is a living initiative in that it gets updated almost every day as things happen on the ground. So yes, indeed, it is, like I've indicated, it is available countrywide. And the movement works with quite a number of other stakeholders, which is End Gender Violence Collective, which will include your civil society, your development partners, government departments, private sector. So all of us, as we join and open this dashboard, were able to capture information that is happening on the ground. From government point of view, on provinces, we do have technical people, but we also have data collectors that feed information into this dashboard, and they get it from as low as districts, municipalities, provinces, and they capture it almost every day.
Minister, once you have the information, then what?
And then, of course, this dashboard is connected to 100 Days Challenge initiative, where once we identify a problem, for instance, in Limpopo, they found that in one of their courts, there is a serious backlog in as far as domestic violence cases. And then they said 100 days, we must have addressed this backlog. And after 100 days, they then found that that actually made 85% progress in addressing the cases on gender-based violence. In other areas, they actually discovered that in a particular area, there are a number of rapes that are happening because there are no street lights. Then the intervention was that they will go to municipality to say, please put street lights in that area within 100 days. 100 days, so that information gets captured into the dashboard. 100 days later, then you've got to assess if there is any progress, and you capture that progress that will have happened. And therefore, it will change the statistics, it will change even the color of what initially was a problem. In some other area, they identified, they were actually telling us at the launch, in some area, they identified that young people were sitting at home and doing nothing. And they assisted them. They then said, let them open companies, and they did that within 100 days. And the majority of those were even able to get procurement business from government. And that therefore get captured as a challenge. 100 days, it must be resolved. One thing that excited me about this when it was actually explained to me on Wednesday is that, for instance, in Limpopo, at that court which I referred to, they were looking at not only now gender-based related cases or even domestic violence related cases, but in other cases to say we can actually use this as a model, the 100 days, to say where there is a challenge, there is a backlog. What is it that we can do within 100 days so that we can address the problem? So what it actually means is that something that might have started as something that addresses gender-based violence related issues but other people can then use it for other initiatives so that we're able to intervene and to deal with issues as quickly as possible.
Minister, this is not the first initiative launched when it comes to GBV in the country. We've had many of those. How does somebody believe that this is not just another initiative that won't necessarily change the numbers, continue the backlog that we're currently seeing?
What is important about this is that it's going to give us data. When it was initiated, for instance, they will say, like, you have the backlog, like I'm talking about gender-based violence, that will be your baseline. And this therefore gets monitored every day. So we will be able, all of us, not just as government, not just as civil society, but everyone else, because the dashboard will be available to everybody to actually see whether there is any progress that we are making. So it provides us with the baseline information, but also provides us with progress that we might be making in addressing some of the challenges. Of course, if there isn't, because it actually assists us to deal with all the pillars of the NSP, in terms of accountability, in terms of prevention, in terms of economic empowerment, etc. In terms of justice as such. So it is available to all South Africans. So it will not just be something that is available to government only, but to all South Africans for them to see whether it is working or not.
Minister, there were hotlines. There was information passed through many hotlines in previous years when it comes to GBV, being able to put down numbers, to put down when you feel in danger. All of this in collaboration with government as well. How is this any different?
In fact, it assists those initiatives that are there. Because the issue of gender-based violence, even the prevalence study that we had, it indicates that it usually happens between intimate partners. So it happens in a house. It is me and my husband, you and your wife, where the physical violence is going to happen, where sexual violence is going to happen.
Yeah.
And then, of course, somebody must report these cases. That's the difficulty about it. But of course, it can still be somebody else, because rape can actually be done by somebody else. But then what it means is that we then begin to be able to collect and to know and have this data. That not only is available to government, that's another matter about this.
Okay.
Not only available to government, but to ordinary South Africans as well. Because you can actually click, you have the app, you're able to get into it and know what is happening in your area as well, in your district as well. We aim to go as low as the ward.
Yeah, look, I guess I'm just struggling with understanding that it's information that seems to be the problem, because that's what this is giving you. I struggle to understand why information would be the issue at large. Minister, just because I've run out of time, though, I just need to ask you, I'm sure you've seen across a lot of social media as well, and really even across the news, the Justice for Cwecwe posts that have really been made. A 7-year-old girl allegedly being raped, of course, then in her school in Matatiele. I just wanted to get perhaps your thoughts, your insights. What can government do ultimately in a situation like that?
I think the caretaker must be able to tell us as to what happened. Because if indeed it's him or her who took the child to a classroom and said she's going to clean the house alone, she must tell us as to why. That's the first person that must be arrested and must give information to South Africa. And the principal must tell us as to why he's refusing to have his DNA taken if it's clear. And for me, that's the case. These people must be arrested and they must give us information in South Africa. The caretaker must tell us. This is the most painful thing that is happening to children, 7-year-old, by adults who are supposed to protect them. So it is agitating, it's irritating, it is bad. The caretaker, for me, must just be arrested, and he must tell South Africans as to why he isolated this child. And then she must give the information to all of us. And I think he must be arrested.
Minister, appreciate your time. Thank you so much indeed. It is that vigor, that anger, that urgency that I think we all then certainly need.